A 4.8 magnitude earthquake centered in New Jersey rattled the Garden State on Friday. It's meteorologist Joe Martucci here. Did you feel it? We saw at 10:23 a.m. many reports coming in of shaking across the Garden State, and we shook for about 15 seconds around the region as this 4.8 magnitude earthquake with an epicenter in Tewksbury began. Now, Tewksbury is in Hunterdon County. It's just north of Interstate 78. And in fact, there was an aftershock about an hour later, a few miles to the south of Tewksbury. Now, all things considered, a 4.8 magnitude earthquake is still considered a light earthquake, at least on the global scale here. We see about 10,000 of these a year across the earth. And this is the energy equivalent of 33,000 pounds of explosives. Still, though, there are many more magnitudes greater that we could see an earthquake, but a 4.8 for the Northeast is pretty significant for us. Anywhere in orange was where there was noticeable shaking, and anywhere in yellow on this map is where you at least had the possibility of feeling these shakes and tremors here, and that yellow area extends from Washington, D.C., all the way up into southern Canada, places like Ottawa or Montreal, Canada, experiencing this earthquake. But it's in this orange area, northern New Jersey, most of central New Jersey, even getting as far south to about Atlantic City, was in this orange area where there was noticeable shaking here. Now, we take a look at some of our earthquake facts here. This was our strongest earthquake in New Jersey since at least August 23rd, 1938. It is possible that we could even go further back in time, but this looks to be the most current information in terms of when we saw a magnitude of this earthquake magnitude centered in New Jersey. This was a shallow earthquake. It was only 3 miles below the surface of the earth. Typically, they're more miles deeper than that, but because it was a shallow earthquake, the tremors could spread easier. And another reason why we felt this for such a wide radius around the epicenter was because of the rocks on the East Coast. They're older and they're more dense, and that means it could be rattled further away from the epicenter after the earthquake begins here. So it was a combination of it being a shallow earthquake and just the composition of the rock on the East Coast that made it so widespread. Now, this earthquake was along the Ramapo fault line. There are fault lines all over the earth. Many of them are bigger or more pronounced than the Ramapo fault line, but there is one here in New Jersey, and that is the focus for many of the usually smaller earthquakes that we see here across the state. This nearly parallels Interstate 287, and that's for a reason. The elevation changes as you go from the fault line to the south and east here, and that is why we saw the earthquake focused along the Ramapo fault line this time in Tewksbury. You can see more from me and our Lee Weather team with our Across the Sky podcast. New episodes come out every Monday.